Hey everyone, welcome to the Assassination of Primarch Magli Blackice. We are back with our full roster, and it is good to see these lovely faces. I'm always glad to see these lovely faces, and I am hoping that we will have some entertaining and fun times today. Uh, with us, as always, is our wonderful cast. They've got some beliefs for their characters. Let's check in and see what those beliefs are, so that we can later judge them, see how they did on them, see if they work towards them. Mwahahaha. Sarah playing Thomas, how you doing?
I am doing good. How are you?
You know, I don't know. Somehow I turned into a game show host in about the last 4.5 seconds, and I don't know what.
You're good. We're all wearing a lot of hats right now. Game show hosts, sometimes.
You got a belief for me?
I do. So, basically, I know we haven't recapped yet, but we're sailing with very little information into a demon city that's been lost to time and controlled by demons who are likely not going to be thrilled about outsiders threatening their fun and searching for a tiny specific object. And also, pirates are unpredictable. So, before we get there, Thomas will facilitate discussion between the group, between Jennifer and between the present group and Oceana, to try to establish like safe rules for behavior and what are we going to do, what are we not going to do with some demons, and kind of make a set plan that everybody feels like they can kind of adhere to. He's going to try to coordinate that.
Beautiful. Yeah, set up safety rules and regulations and principles and guidelines, and wow, I love it.
It feels like it should be something in Juniper's book, but you know what? Let's just go for it.
I'm not certain if a Lady of Quality has rules for dealing with demons.
No.
But, you know.
Rude party guests.
I have never identified with Thomas more, I will say, than this moment. And I've identified with Thomas a lot. Excellent. Faye, playing Juno. How you doing?
Sorry, I am muted.
We're good. I'm doing good.
Excellent.
Juno's belief is that she needs to decide whether to take it safe, like everyone has warned her, or to follow the advice of a tree and make a deal with a probably corrupted soul inside of a book to gain power.
That's a tricky place to be in. Are you going to seek any further counsel or advice?
I think she's going to try to.
Cool. I'm excited to see who you seek out for advice and what they say. Excellent. Jess, playing Samhain.
I haven't quite figured out my belief yet. Can I get a clarification? Because my brain is 2 mashed peas in a petri dish.
Mashed? Are petri dishes small enough to mash peas? Probably, yes.
Yeah, peas can fit in a petri dish.
Yeah, my question was actually, like, I don't know why, but I tend to think of petri dishes having, like, sides that are, like, 1/8 of an inch tall, and I was just wondering if you could mash.
They're a little bit bigger than that.
Okay.
Like this.
Yes, okay, that makes sense, but then how do you mash the peas?
You just take, like, an object and smash it.
Oh, okay, and then you put them inside the petri dish. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The image I had was the petri dish smashing the peas, and my brain is also working.
I mean, that also works.
I can give you clarification on whatever topic you are seeking clarification upon.
Do I know roughly when they're going to return from their shipping expedition?
Yes, they have told you that their intention is to be back at the end of 2.5 weeks, with the intention of, once they get in and get out, Juno's intention was to teleport them home the rest of the way, so that they don't have to travel all the way in and out. It's a 2-week journey there. You don't know how long they'll have to be there, but the intention is to have them be in and out. Also, time foofy, and you haven't been here a little bit, so jumping around in time a little bit may happen. They've been gone for a week, and will be gone, I think, for another week this episode.
Okay. Because I know we didn't want to do the brain trap until like we're all back in the same
Mhm.
sort of place. Um, and can I be reminded if Milla has books in her house about conduits, whatever
Yes.
ones exist?
Yes, she does.
Cool. Okay, so my uh my belief is going to be I am going to uh go meet with Mela and see how much and spend like their time away on the ship
Mm.
reading about conduits as
Mm.
much as I can before I trap somebody in my brain hole.
Excellent. That sounds great to me. I'm excited to see you do both those things. I will also add, as a point of clarification, because you were not here, um, Admiral Kellier, who was the admiral of the Navy, the lead admiral, first admiral of the Navy, has been assassinated, as has Lady Evangelina Corella.
Kellier's gone?
Yes. Also, this is Thomas's fault.
Damn.
Did I do that?
You know.
Oh, that's that's good. That's good.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify before you like go try and seek Kellier or something like that. That was.
Oh, I don't really have.
I know. I just.
He did owe me a favor.
Yes. I don't think he can
Sorry
pay you
about
that
that.
anymore. Although you could, knowing you could, I don't know, summon his spirit from the afterlife to collect if you need to, or something like that. But you know, that's a Samhain thing to do, or maybe a
That is
just thing
true.
to do. I don't know.
Over the table, by the way, I'm sorry to break in, but this was not about boys. He should have kept my family out of his mouth. Just saying.
That's fair. Excellent. And Kaz, how you doing? How's seasickness and the boat treating you?
Yeah, well, we worked on that last time, so hopefully not seasick anymore. But the goal this time is to basically continue off from last time, in that I want to enhance Magic Circle.
Mm.
Probably enlisting the help of Thomas and Juno if they have the time, because I feel like a circle that can keep fae, fiends, undead, demons out would be kind of cool.
Yes, that seems very cool and very useful, and in no way game breaking. Yes, no, it seems great. I'm totally done. Awesome. Well, there you go. We've got our agenda. So I'm gonna launch us off here with a brief color scene. And I think, if it's all right, Sawin, I'm going to include you in this color scene because the city is the place where this is happening, and you are our avenue to the city. So Sawin, some morning, about a week after your friends have left, how do you get your news? Do you get the newspaper? Do you listen to criers? Do you pick up gossip at the local coffee shop or bar or something? Like, what's the news? How do you pick up your news?
Probably like some variation of like all of those.
Sure.
Just because at this point in time, Sawin's not going to take news from one single source. Doesn't trust it.
Yeah.
So like probably the most reliable will be the stuff like said in bars and things like that, because people have loose tongues, but then knowing what's been in print is helpful because that's coming straight from the top. We already know.
Yes, that's very true. The print is not to be trusted, and I think that you would know that the print is not to be trusted for the major headline today. Is that something is wrong on the front lines of the war with the Kava, and General Quick Eyes seems to have become corrupted by foul magics, and now is in open rebellion on the opponent's side against Chalestra and Racy. the stories in the newspaper are exaggerated, probably, you would guess, because you can pick up from stuff in bars. But they mention that this is clearly got to be some form of possession because he has started doing horrible things, encouraging his soldiers to attack civilians and villagers, people who are just trying to get by. You hear stories of a ritual fight to the death between a soldier and a survivor, and like as a form of sacrifice to some sort of dark god. Um, and the tone in the articles is very much like, our dear general has been corrupted. We need to find a way to save him still. They're definitely like undercutting, shall we say, any gesture that any political position that might be being made here. Um, and by equating this to demonic influence. So you see headlines about this, and the rumors in the bars and the cafes. Well, they're a little bit more complicated. General Quick Eyes is a war hero. A lot of people are more on the lines of like, most people are very sympathetic to him. It's hard to sort of paint, and a lot of people are like, well, I mean, he's so strong mentally. He might be trying to trick the Kava or something like that, or maybe this was a clever ruse of some sort. And other people's response is like more like, well, can't trust anything the papers say. I heard it was moon spirits that took him, not the Kava, right? And so the things are definitely wild in terms of what people are expecting. And so you become aware of this, and I think that'll just be our first scene. There is you discovering this. Do you have a response when you discover it, or just an oh shit or something?
Well, it's kind of like someone is trying to figure out like what is the point of doing this?
Mhm.
Just because it just seems very counterintuitive to what like the united front that Magli was trying to present against the Kava, and it's
Mhm.
just kind of like,
Yeah, I'll allow you to roll an insight check if you want to try and anticipate why someone would do this.
why unless it was maybe who was it, the lady at the party that gave me frickin' Frack's address.
Oh yeah.
I got a 12.
Yeah, it's definitely like, it definitely feels weird. It definitely is out of character for the purposes of Magli. And definitely doesn't feel normal to him. You're 100% right about that. So I'll leave you there on that, chewing on that little piece of nugget of information.
Yeah.
And let's go flash over to the boat. So let's see. We left the boat just after the storm. Is that correct? And heading into the deeper after the normal storm, but before we get to the maelstrom itself. So I think as you guys come out of the storm, when you wake up the next morning, you can see the maelstrom on the horizon. The maelstrom is huge. It's a constant swirling cyclone that stretches for miles in both directions. And it's always in motion, and it's always dark, and you can see it a ways away. And so you guys know that you are approaching it, even though right now it is still barely a speck upon the horizon. So who should we kick it off with? Thomas, it looks like your brain's working.
Oh, just thinking. So, okay, what time of day is it?
What time do you want it to be?
Morning.
Great. Morning it is.
Okay. He has been, again, checking in with the temple nightly, pretty much, just kind of rotating who's who. And he has been sequestering himself, working on his friend's name. And I think he's been driving himself a little nuts about it. So he has distracted himself by, I think, working on a letter to Thea. And just about how to talk to Chilestrans, pretty much. And I'll send that to you separately. But he goes across the corridor really quickly. I think his hair's like just everywhere, and he's just like knocking on the door. Just Kazan, Juniper.
Huh? Huh?
Oh, I didn't know. Was something a lady of quality verified as an appropriate response. All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
It
good
is
sir.
that.
What happened to the two of you?
You know, we went through a storm yesterday, and I just learned how to
your
not
stomach.
barf on like calm seas. So just taking it easy.
Oh, well, I will not be coming in then to stand on your floor. I will not be doing that. I just wanted to check with you really quickly. Actually, Kaz, do you mind if I Dr. Rowe, I believe you met, and his little crew, I shouldn't say that, it always sounds so condescending. His crew are in the city right now. I was going to send one of them who has an interest in diplomacy by way of Lady Iria, since I am not personally there for elocution tips. Would you have any issue with that? I assume your people will be scanning everyone who approaches her anyway.
I trust your judgment.
They seem trustworthy, and honestly, if I had to pick one, it would probably be her.
Yeah,
I mean,
fine by me.
you can have them just pick up a copy of the Manners from Ladies of Quality, but
Juniper, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Exactly when was her self-help book? When was that published exactly?
looks like 30 years, 35-ish.
Yeah, that checks out to me. Just some familiar things in there that I did not expect to be familiar anymore. Context, always important. Kazan, thank you. I'll leave you two to whatever this is. If during the course of
someone send some like fragrances, it smells bad in here. Sorry, Juno.
I mean, it's okay. I can clean it.
As much as I wish, there is not room service on this vessel, unfortunately. So no, I will not be doing that.
Can you get us a bucket of water?
Or two. Hot towel?
You'll get what you get and don't throw a fit. I'll be back.
Can we have 2 Mercuries attached to scrub brushes?
That's a great idea.
You greatly overestimate both mine and his upper body strength, but we'll do what we can.
Beautiful. Excellent. Lovely. I think we'll stick with Juno and Kaz. Kaz, do you have a scene you want to watch?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, since we're in the room, I'm in the room with Juno, I'll just bring it up now. So Juno, I know you've been doing your thing with spells, and you seem tired a little bit still, but I have great news because I know you love it so much. I have another thing you could work on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She shoves her book under a pillow.
So I was talking to Porpor, the goblin. He's really cool, can do the healing stuff, but with like not the way I do it. So we were talking about perhaps enhancing one of the spells I have, Magic Circle. And as is, it can basically prevent any celestial, fae, undead, and fiend, and elemental from entering that circle by any means.
Okay.
So if there was a way that we could expand that, it may be useful to us in the Maelstrom.
Okay.
It's like we need a way to funnel magic into it. He's already enhanced the pace that I use to draw it. And I don't really actually know exactly what he means by funnel magic into it. I'm not good at these things.
Well, Juno would have brought her feather. She doesn't want to try the magic of intent right now. She's kind of like, oh, I can expand on it like last time. So she's gonna take out the feather, and she's going to gingerly hop across the floor and hand it to Kaz. And okay, so someone taught me how to focus your will on this feather to kind of extend the magic that you already have. But I think since you're the spellcaster, you might need to do it for this one time. So I'm going to try to teach Kaz how to do it.
Wow, interesting. Cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Juno, let's start with you. And let's start with you with let's start with an intelligence saving throw.
And I think with this, she would be trying to not teach her the magic of intent, but trying to show her the thing that Kaz's mom showed her.
Yeah. Yeah. I got that. That's very cool.
Okay. So it's an intelligence saving throw?
Yeah, I think we're going to start with an intelligence saving throw. That's going to be our teaching move.
That's a 24.
Okay, well that's a success. Okay. And Kaz. Why don't we have you? You're a paladin. Let's have you make an intelligence saving throw as well.
Okay. Not my best, but not my worst.
You're also a paladin, so you've got like bonuses here.
14.
Nice. Okay. So Juno, what does this look like? What does this teaching scene look like? And what two things does Kaz pick up, and what one thing does Kaz fail to pick up?
Okay. So Juno would use... Is it okay if we switch to my microphone for this? Because it's echoing.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, darling. You're amazing. Okay. So I think Juno would use she would use a needle and thread, I think, for it. But with like a lot of different threads, and try to explain that you have to try to like get multiple ones through the eye of the needle. And how you kind of have to like twist it all in. So she would explain that. So she would explain how you would channel your magic through the feather to thread it through. I think the second thing that she would know would be probably Juno would be focusing a lot on the restrictions you should place on it.
Mm-hmm.
So she would know like the limit that you don't cross, I suppose.
Yeah.
When you start to feel the strain and you're like, oh, this is gonna really mess me up, this is where you back off.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going to fail to see the moment that it clicks and that it works, I think. Like, so
Okay.
she's gonna know when to stop, but not when to go.
Beautiful. I love that. That's great. Kaz, as you are listening to Juno talk and sort of experimenting with this, Juno's magic works very differently than yours normally, right? Juno, it's almost formulaic the way that she thinks about things. The way that you think about things, it's more push and pull, enact your will, smite the evil, swear the oath, and by the oath is it bound. This feels closer in some ways to what you do. But it has a weird component of like this needle and thread thing. It's like a pattern. It's like a series of rules that you are adhering to, which is very different than what you do. You don't normally think about things in terms of rules, but it does make sense. And I think as you are experimenting with this, you're holding the feather, and the feather just feels pleasant in your hand. It feels like it belongs there a little.
Say, where did you get this feather from?
I accidentally summoned a being almost and poked the feather through a portal. But someone you know taught me how to do this.
Someone I know. Solon.
No.
Thomas.
No. Someone you've only spoken to. Don't say it out loud if you know.
Okay. Okay.
All right. You
Thank
can
you.
keep it as long as you need to.
No, really? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, I mean, if I need it, I know I can just ask you.
Okay. Well, be sure you do, and thank you for taking the time to teach me. I'm not the best student, I know.
Oh, you did so well. You did so great. Don't even.
Aw,
You're fine.
shucks. Thank you. And also, don't strain yourself too much. I know you're juggling a lot with magic and other things right now. Don't push yourself, and if you need help, make sure you ask.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Cass. And she's going to offer one of her choice hugs.
Yes.
Beautiful. That's great. Wonderful. Okay. Sawin. What about you? What do you want to be doing? Where do you want to start?
I guess I should check on Quick Eyes.
Mhm. Yeah, so he's not in the city. He's on the front. So do you have a way of contacting him there, or are you going to talk with someone else, or send a spot? Like, what does that look like?
That's I'm just gonna the easiest way to do it is and the most secure way is like through the dreamscape, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, so I guess I'll like lay down, think of the space, and then I'll think of like Thomas
Mhm.
first, and then like the line from Thomas to Quick Eyes.
Is your intent to bring Thomas along with you?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, because I don't want to add to Thomas's plate unless I can like figure out what's going on.
Sure. Yeah. So you I think as you're doing this, you get an image of Thomas. You don't see the area around Thomas, but you see Thomas. I think it's sort of like that meme of the conspiracy theorist in that TV show that I don't watch, where like Thomas is just like frantically writing things and pinning things into boards, and like you get a glance at it for a second, you see that like they're different names of various sorts.
Oh, he's okay. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. And so we just get like this image of that, but you see a thread leading off of Thomas, almost like a hook in Thomas that seems to be going elsewhere. You see a couple of them. One of them seems to be going almost straight down, but one seems to be heading north. At least whatever north means in this dreamscape. Thomas, this is a question for you. How strong is the thread that connects you to General Quick Eyes?
So I think it's stronger than he would like to admit. There are walls there that such a line would have to pass through. But regardless of the fact that he's insisting that they not put a name to what they're feeling right now, and the fact that they don't jinx themselves and say something and the next day somebody dies, and the fact that he is trying to kind of like wall things off, I think Quick Eyes keeps doing things like kind of respecting those boundaries and like trying to like cleverly like subtly make his intentions known with like we should move in together after all of this and stuff like that is really endearing him in spite of himself. And I think he is genuinely worried about him quite a lot, and obviously like current events have kind of necessitated that he compartmentalize that, but I think it's a decently strong thread.
Beautiful. Yeah, so the thread is decently strong. It's clearly connecting him. You see also, obviously, threads that connect him to you, as well as to Juno and Kazan as well, and others. But this sort of perspective really does show how interconnected you all are to each other, how bound you all are together. But you see this thread, and you see where it's heading, and you can follow it easily if you wish. You're muted.
I'll follow it to the end of the line.
So you follow it north, or whatever again north means in the streamscape, and you find yourself crossing a lot of terrain. It's a weird terrain because everything seems toy-like, and the fact that you don't know this land very well is actually convenient because it means it goes by faster. You fly through it. Things are blurred, details missing, and you get towards the end of this line, and you see two things. First of all, you see General Quick Eyes sleeping. And then next to him, you see sort of pacing back and forth a 6'8", incredibly well muscled human holding nothing right now, but they see you, and she looks at you, and she says, "Oh, hi. Well, this will be fun." She cracks her neck and reaches behind her, and she pulls out a scimitar with one hand and a warhammer with the other hand. and she starts like spinning them in her hands a little bit, and she's like, I'll give you a minute to prepare if you want. I want this to be fair. I don't want to like just kill you without you having a chance to get ready.
I beg your pardon?
What do you mean?
Who are you? Why are you here?
Oh, hi. I'm Urza Tidebreaker. I'm inside his head to protect him from, you and the assassins. You're one of Magli's assassins, right?
No, I'm not. Contrary to popular belief, I guess.
Wait, you're not one of Magli's assassins? Wait,
No.
that is exactly what an assassin would say to me.
Are you like... Are you from like beyond the cosmos? Are you
No.
like an entity?
Well, I was born in Sunera. I served in the Celestian Army. I've spent some time in Abarak, and I travel around a lot. Why?
Do you not know where you are currently?
I'm protecting him. I'm the bodyguard. You, to kill him, have to fight me.
I'm not here to kill him. I'm here to check up on him. I'm his friend.
You're his what?
I'm his friend. I know I'm a little young, but...
Does that mean we're not going to fight?
No, we're not going to fight. I prefer to keep my head squarely attached to my shoulders. It's a rather good-looking head, and I want to keep it there.
I mean, don't you want to fight, though? I mean, just a little. I could stab you.
I'd rather... Again, I don't want to get stabbed. Do you not... Are you sleeping, too?
No, I have all these, like, cool psionic powers, and I don't get to use them all the time, and I can use them now to protect someone
Okay.
who is at risk of psionic assault, and I'm, like, excited about it, and I
Okay.
don't get to do it, and so it sucks.
Okay, alright. I'm sorry.
You sure you're his friend?
Yes.
He'll vouch for you when I wake him up
Yes.
inside the dreamscape so that he can talk to you?
I mean, waking him up wasn't necessarily... I just heard rumors that the papers here at home are publishing nasty things that he's been taken over by a demon, and so I decided I needed to check on him.
She takes her warhammer and just sort of like politely conks him on the head 3 times and says, General, get up, get up. And he's like, oh, ow, Urza. Oh, what are you doing? Don't you know how heavy that thing is? Yeah, but there's someone here to talk to you. Is it Thomas? No. Oh.
It is not Thomas.
Owen. Hi, Urza, it's fine. I know him. You sure? What if he's like an illusion or a trap or something? Maybe I should stick around just in case he tries to, like, I don't know, stab you in the gut with a knife or something, and then I could protect you in glorious battle. He doesn't have enough like allies with him to make him worth a fight, but we could
You'd be surprised.
Why? You've got more of you? I love fights that are more than like I'm hoping for like a 6-on-1.
I like your boxy. I really do.
Thanks. Well, okay, I guess if he knows you, fine. But I'm gonna stand over there, and I'm not like in listening distance, but if you need me, I guarantee you I can get a telekinetic wall up between you and any dagger that this puts down sword and scimitar and warhammer and friend tries to do. That's fine, Urza. Thank you very much. I appreciate the assistance. Sawin, hi, how are you?
Hi. Well, we got disturbing news in Ray C today that you've been taken over by a brainworm or a demon. And I just kind of look at Ursa.
Oh, that's interesting. No. No, I'm fine. Um, yes. Oh boy. Uh, okay. The men that I'm in charge of and myself received direct orders from Magli Blackice to that were blatantly, shall we say, an attempt to sacrifice us in a meaningless attempt at creating a form of unity. We got wind of it because, well, Urza there and several other people um, with her came to us with that information. Um,
Where
Basically,
did she come from?
she. I know that she's unorthodox, but she's a member of the Order of Starlight from Terra Vest, the Grand Accord.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they have these elite teams, I guess, of like people who go places and solve problems. Um, it was part of the agreement that every nation signed on to when they joined the Accord.
Aha.
Um, yes, so they're trying to uh, prevent um, more bloodshed. They're believers in peace. Listen. So, this whole thing, it's a cover. I'm not controlled. I'm fine.
Okay.
Me
I
and my
just want.
troops, we've gone into open revolt against Magli.
Okay.
We were
Yeah.
forced into that position. We are currently under the protection of the Grand Accord.
All right. Well, that's good news. That's some good news because I didn't really know what was going on, and also just as an update for you to know, um, I'm trying to get a seat at the table with Magli. So while it might look like I'm buddy buddy with him, I am most certainly not. Um,
So, when your loyalty was never in question to me.
yeah, no, I just need to. I have like a compulsion now to tell like the people who are close to me to like so at least somebody knows that I'm
Sure.
not doing this because I want to. I'm doing it because I feel I have to.
Of
Um,
course. Of course. Actually, sorry, you were friends with uh Panarin, right?
yes.
Urza? Yeah. I know that you're very excited about being in the dream space by yourself here or whatever this is. But could you do me a favor? Could you get Asana here? Fine, but don't do anything tricky while I'm gone.
I just like leave my hands out of my pockets and just go, I got nothing.
And Urza just sort of glares at you, her 6'8" frame looking towering down at you, and then pops out. And then about 4.5 seconds later, pops back in. But with her is a 3'6", 3.5 foot tall halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Very friendly, warm looking, short bow on their back. Um, Looks around and says, "Hey, General. Who's this?" This is Sawin, a friend of mine. Um, Sawin was friends with Panarin. Oh, well, any friend of Panarin's is a friend of mine. Hi, my name is Asana Overleaf.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Um, wow, you knew Panarin long?
Uh, oh god, this is just having a space cadet moment. How long have I known her? I don't long enough.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, she used to drink in my bar, well, the bar that I used to own back before when I had a bar. Um, hey, look, this is hard for people here sometimes, but I told the general this, and he told me that I should tell you this, and I guess you're the person I'm supposed to tell this to. I was supposed to tell it to Thomas, and Thomas was going to tell someone. Are you the person that Thomas was going to tell about this thing?
About what thing?
You know that Panarin is like trapped.
Oh, yes. Yeah, her spirit's been locked away by like someone like cocks his head and is like waiting for Oslos to like fill in the information because I don't remember.
Yeah, Oz, this is well, we don't actually know who has her spirit. We
Well,
know
I had to make a deal with the person who has her and said I'll give you like a year of my like a year of my life
yes,
to
yes,
talk
that's
to
all.
her.
Yes, that's all very true. Of course, but we didn't actually discover what he was. We just sort of knew what he would do. We don't know who he is, as it were.
Okay. Yeah, I I'm juggling several different cosmic plates at the moment. So I do know she's trapped.
Mhm.
Uh I did give her something. Whether or not she'll be able to use it to like say anything to me is a different story. Um she does most of her communication with of all things cards, and like he'll pull out the tarot deck and wave it and then put
Oh,
it back in his
yeah.
pocket.
Okay, then, and Asana pulls out a deck of cards herself. Yeah, I've got one too.
Did you have a tarot deck?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. She give it to you?
Uh, well, no, but maybe.
No, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, okay. Um. So this is the. I don't understand this cosmic stuff either, but you know that this is like the dream space,
Yes,
and you
it
know,
is in space.
like it doesn't really correlate to real space in some sense, but then it also kind of does correlate to real space in some sense. Like it's kind of confusing.
Yes.
Okay. Uh. So I know where she is trapped in real space.
Wait, she's alive?
No, her spirit is trapped in real space, and it's preventing her from doing things. Or maybe she's alive. I don't know. I don't understand the difference between spirit and death and alive and things like that.
Okay, because I was under the impression she died in the blast.
Yeah, and the explosion. I've been doing research into that, and the form of the explosion was very weird. It definitely killed people, but the way it killed people was it ripped their souls from their bodies and then trapped them.
I mean, that would explain a lot.
Yes. Well, it answered some questions that we had about some things, but so anyway, okay. Well, long story short, the um, Emperor of Prion
Yes.
has a necklace, and for whatever reason, and for whatever price, Panoran's soul is in his necklace. Their necklace, sorry.
Her soul is in their necklace.
Got it.
Do we know if everybody from the Accord Blast is in that necklace? Because if
They are
so, that
definitely
is
not
a
all in the
very
necklace.
valuable piece of jewelry, and we should probably have it.
Strongly agree. Hands are a little diplomatically tied. We learned the information by stealing it, and we're not supposed to know that they're not supposed to know that we stole the information, and so um we can't admit that we know this because we can't admit that we know this. And I've been exiled from Prion and not supposed to go back there on pain of death. We're thinking about going there anyway, of course, but you know, it is like a thing, and I just thought that you should know because you were her friend or something like that.
I appreciate that.
Hi, sorry.
No,
Um,
it's fine.
yes.
Uh, do we know if like the Emperor plans to do anything with this necklace.
We do not know, she says very proudly.
Cool, 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 cool.
There's this guy though that's wandering around, obsessed with the game Dragon Chess. Have you met the Pallid one?
That ruby scarred fuck.
Yes, that's the one. He's the one who did the soul rending.
Good to know. Good to know. Man, I would really, really love to put multiple kinks in that man's life.
Me too. I hate him. A lot. As does my entire team.
So this is the same man who's also trapped a Celestian god
Yes.
in a bowl.
What?
Well, I call it a bowl. It's more like a giant person.
Sorry, I said yes because I thought that I was the DM, but my character doesn't know this information. So this is new information to me.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a real piece of work.
And how you know about the and then
Oh,
she sort of pauses and turns to Urza, and she just sort of like has a quick like whisper, and she's like, "Are we telling people about the, you know?" And Urza's like, "I don't think we've really
alright.
discussed whether they're telling people about the, you know." I know, right? But it seems like we.
Okay. Alright, like to just make this like really, really clear, I'm a conduit. So like I talk to gods and stuff and other beings. I'm actually paired with a god right now. However,
Do you know what type of god?
oh, the one of the oldest ones in the book, and then like Oslos, if you'd like to show yourself.
I'd prefer not to, unless
Okay,
you
well,
feel
that's
that
fine.
it's absolutely necessary. I
Well,
am
I
quite
mean,
comfortable being invisible at this time.
well, that's fine. I mean, all you had to do was like wave a frond.
Fine. And a frond just appears in waves.
A trickster
Okay.
god.
Sure, yeah. Guessing trickster god?
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. Um, Interesting. I wonder what class entity he is.
Wait, that you have classes for them.
Well, I'm okay. So this is gonna sound stupid. Not that long ago, I was someone who was a brewer. I brew beer, the best beer, great beer. But anyway, I approach things from like a a, a scientific perspective. I try to understand things, and as we've been dealing with weird entities, we've been trying to organize and classify them, and it's trying to create categories because some of them behave differently than others.
Well, like Oslos is a god. Like god
Yes,
of
probably class 10. At least that's the scale we're working on now, but it's a little bit I don't really know. That's
like
I'd have to do
I,
testing, and it's really hard to test these higher powered beings, as you know.
well, what I'm trying to tell you is that he is like one of the gods that it was involved in the creation of Prian.
Right. Right.
So like he's he's kind of a big deal.
Cool. Well, hi God. I worship you nicely. Cool.
So in
So you're
any
a conduit, so you can talk to things. That's useful and scary. Especially now that the covering's down.
yeah, so um I'm doing my best to like keep things under control in Racy. Um I um well like one of I know that there's like 100 200 conduits across Isaim
Mm-hmm.
with varying levels of skill. I have another one living in my house so I can keep an eye on him.
Yeah, we've got one too.
There's one that One I'm supposed to be killing soon.
Cool. I assume for good reason.
Yeah, because he's paired up with the creature of rotten bone.
Cool.
Not cool, actually.
Oh, well, cool that you're killing him then.
Yeah.
He smiles broadly up at you. Again, 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah. So I guess like the whole point of why I even showed up was to make sure that the general was okay, that he was not infested with weird brain worms or taken control of by some cosmic creature masquerading as a god, or even like a low tier god using the general for nefarious purposes.
We heard the brainworms were in your part of the world.
Wait, they're actually a thing. I just said I just brainworm.
Oh, you did not know that. Yes. Also, aliens are real.
Well, I like that's not surprising to me at all.
Oh,
But brainworms?
Well, they're more like shrimp, really. We've been calling them brain shrimp.
Brain shrimp.
But they go inside you, and it's unclear whether they form a partnership with you or control your mind. It is disconcerting, and we have not decided what to do about them yet. Although right now there is some discussion of mass extinction, but some people feel that that would be wrong because they are what they were made to be, and so mass extinction seems like a strong reaction. Anyway, there are at least 5 of them that are.
By a brain shrimp.
Hmm?
How do you know if somebody's infected by a brain shrimp?
Oh, well, our testing has not yet found a reliable solution to that problem yet. What
Amazing.
we do know is that one could theoretically, well, so there's this guy who's a little bit crazy. His name is Masozi, and he's from the Kava, and he decided that the best way to he did discover a method to find out if there are brain shrimp or not inside your head, but it involved crushing people's skulls. So he's a little crazy. Not really the healthiest move for things. Anyway, yes.
Okay. All right. Feel like every time I come into the dream space, I leave with more questions than answers.
I am very sorry to have added to that.
But that's fine. Well, do you know that the pallid one is working with the Kraken, right? You know that's a thing.
No, that is new information to me.
Okay, cool. So the Kraken was at the bottom of the ocean. Kraken was released. Well, not released. He broke free, rather. Created a tidal wave, which led to me meeting up with Oslos. So that was cool. And we have 5 months now to prepare for the Kraken to come back because he wants to go sit on Abarak.
Right.
So that's the thing.
I feel like that's the sort of thing that I should tell the Grand Accord, and get them to send people to start dealing with.
No. I've got it. I made a deal specifically with Oslos to deal with it. We're going to handle that.
Awesome. Well, then I feel like I should tell the Grand Accord that someone is handling it and that they seem very powerful. And perhaps they should keep an eye on that person, either to assist you should that be necessary, or to, if you go evil, kill you.
I'm not going to go evil.
You know, I've heard that said before more than once.
Trust me, if I wanted to have gone evil, I would have made a deal with an entity to bring back Panarin from the dead. And I have not done that. I had the option to, and I didn't. So I think I'm okay.
roll a persuasion check for me. This is pretty likely to succeed.
Okay, persuasion. That's a 25.
I will admit that had I been made the same offer, I likely would have failed.
It was very tempting.
You have a stronger will than I.
Well, as long as the general's okay, that's all that really matters to me. And I'll not take up any more of your time, and I'll do my best on the home front to see if I can get Magli to stop doing whatever it is he thinks he's doing, because he's kind of all over the place with, I'm not really sure what his goal is, and if he wanted to prevent or like present a strong Chalestra, he's certainly not really doing that.
We were thinking about killing him.
Oh yes, that's on my to-do list, but like I need to get onto the council in order for me to do that.
That sounds really good.
And like being his new pet tiefling is like on the to-do list.
That sounds like a good plan. Okay. With this new piece of information, we will not kill him now, assuming that you are agreeing to kill him.
Oh yes.
Because there's this whole thing, the Kava wants to join the Grand Accord, but can't announce it until after that. And once they join the Grand Accord, that would be good for the Grand Accord, because we can like open up trade with the Kava, and that will expand some technological options for us, which might help protect us from the impending space empire thing.
Yeah, just as an aside, as far as the Kava's concerned, are they going to keep sacrificing conduits to keep a barrier up? Because I feel like they should find, you know, I know I'm biased and all, being one myself, but I'm pretty sure killing conduits isn't the way to keep, an entire world protected. That seems a little macabre and violent.
They have said that they cannot do that anymore. I don't know that that is 100% true. I know that they at least could not do it for 100 years. But
even killing one every 100 years is still too often.
I am not disagreeing, but I am informing you that they have said that they cannot do that. And while we have had issues with trust with people in the Kava, all in all, they're cagey and secretive and difficult to trust. That was not the sentence I wanted to say when I started saying it.
Yeah, I'm just, on the list of priorities, they are sort of currently at the bottom of my list, but I really don't want to be on someone's next ritual as an ingredient. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think I can guarantee that at a minimum.
Well, that's good. Because I have a lot of work to do.
Hardner, you seem a little stressed.
That doesn't even begin to cover it, but yeah.
Sure, yeah. I am not really good at this. My solution to stress is mostly like the calm of brewing beer and the celebration of drinking beer. But a friend of mine who you cannot see right now because they're not in the dreamscape right now, when they were stressed, and she's a conduit, but when she was stressed, she found a lot of peace when she went and talked to a tree. So I might consider finding a tree and talking to a tree.
I've spoken to the tree, and the tree says I'm going to be stressed for quite some time.
Good luck then. I will say at the very least, it is nice to know that there are other people that are doing good things out there. At least it seems to me.
Yeah. I'm doing the best with what I can. and it's gonna have to be enough for right now, and I just have many plates I'm juggling at once.
You really do, but you're doing great at it, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you. I have to go read some books now, because I'm supposed to be trapping somebody in my skull for several days.
That sounds boring. Do you want to fight instead?
No, it's because that's going to be me fighting this person. You know, the whole being the new pet tiefling thing. Yeah, I need to deal with that. So, um, in order for me to do that, I've got to go read before I let somebody run around my brain.
Yes, this has been a fascinating conversation to be on the a fly on the wall of. But Selwyn, um, if you have a way to communicate with Thomas and could pass on that I'm fine, it doesn't have to be rich details, but I'm fine or something like that.
You think I would pay you a visit and not send your regards to Thomas?
It
What
felt
kind of cad do you take me for?
A lady of quality has in her book a note that says that one should not just assume that a favor is going to be done, and instead should voice the request so that the opportunity to refuse is still always there. And I thought that was the appropriate thing to do at this point.
I will give Thomas your regards, but it'll have to be tonight.
Fine.
All right. It was a pleasure meeting you both. General, take
Bye.
turns in
It was
hands.
nice to meet you too, Sawin, and those who may be a class 10 being. It was nice to see your front.
It was nice to see you. Yeah, and then Sawin will just kind of break the connection. Go visit Mela as that really unassuming lizard folk guys he had when he was walking around town the other day.
Perfect. I think we will go check on Juno first and then come back to that scene if that's all right with you. Hey Juno, how you doing?
Juno is stressed.
Matthew too.
Yep, we're all living that life right now. Juno has been purposely avoiding the book for a while. She's drafted out potential messages to send to Stepwise and then to Alam, and she's considered talking to Thomas about it, but then she kind of like takes one look at Thomas and goes, he's got too much on his plate right now. And I think in the end, or middle, she's going to kind of find a quiet space and send a message to Sawin.
Beautiful. What do you say?
She is going to say, hey Sawin. Oh, and is it possible for her to use her if she, this might be much to ask, but is it possible for her to use her wand to extend the message, the sending spell? If not, then she'll just cast sending multiple times for this to happen.
No, let's do this. How about a charisma saving throw?
Okay. Let me find my sheet again.
No worries.
Charisma's not my strong suit. That's a fail, friends.
I will allow you to extend the spell in exchange for 1d4 minus 1 levels of exhaustion.
Okay. 1d4 minus 1? That's 0.
Beautiful. Then you're in good shape.
Okay. But it's mostly extended for the answer. So she's going to say, hey, Sawin, it's Juno. I have a quick question that is not quick. In a bit of a bind. Can you do a reading for me?
Okay, hang on. Jess is gonna bust out the card.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I gotta give them a shuffle because I don't remember the last time I shuffled them.
It's quality shit. Oh,
That's what we're here for, man.
Yeah, okay, Sarah.
Oops. What kind of reading am I doing?
I guess she would have said what kind of reading. What kind of readings are they again? It's been a while.
It depends on what we're doing. I have like
You want to read Lady Gianna Strega, right?
The 3-card draw is what I normally do. So that's like the thinking, feeling, doing reading. But if you're looking like,
are you trying to read yourself, your future, or are you trying to read Lady Gianna Strega, or what's the intent here, Juno?
She is trying to read kind of like I think maybe herself on the like, not necessarily what should her decision be, but is what's already forming in her mind a good idea or not. She's trying to see where this is going to go based off of where she's already heading.
Yeah, so I think then a 3-card makes sense. Thinking,
okay.
feeling.
All right, they're shuffled good enough. All right. Sorry, my desk is. All right. What is this? Okay. All right. I got a King of Cups, which is reversed. So he stands for manipulation, moodiness, and trickery. A master in emotions, the King of Cups can choose his understanding of the human feeling to create peace or strife. What are his intentions? On the other hand, perhaps someone who is usually calm is losing grip on his otherwise stable emotions.
Carrie?
Okay.
Wow, the cards were to move today because the other card I drew was a Queen of Cups, but also reversed. Coldness, insecurity, and dependence. The river of compassion has run dry. This figure now exudes coldness where there was once love. On the opposite end, perhaps you've become too reliant on the kindness of this figure. How can you achieve independence? Either way, there's a feeling of emotional instability that comes with this card.
Dang! You don't have to come for her like that.
The cards come for us all. Listen.
Let's see our third card.
The last card I have in this 3-card reading is a 2 of Swords. Difficult choices, indecision, stalemate. Being at a crossroads, this is a moment when you must make a difficult choice. One path closes the other, and your decision is hanging in a perfect equilibrium and balance, making the choice ever more difficult. There is no clear winner, but to progress, one must take a stand.
Okay.
Oh.
I need to pause for 1 second here, just for a second, and just state for the record, Jess,
Yes.
we have been in the same room before, but not since last March, correct?
That is correct.
I do not know where your house is. I don't know where your address is. I'm not sneaking in there and like organizing the cards to directly reflect the plot in any way, shape, or form. You can confirm this, yes?
Yes, I can confirm.
I live on the west coast of the United States. You do not, correct?
That is correct.
There is no physical possible way for me to be manipulating the cards to be this fucking accurate.
That is correct.
Okay, I just need to say that for the record.
The deck.
Oh my god.
I literally have not touched my cards since like the last time I think the last time I touched my cards was when I did that like game of war with the tarot cards.
Yeah.
And like wrote up what like I would have done with the palette one. So like that's the last time I touched those fucking cards.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, Juno definitely doesn't know what to do now. No, wow. Okay. Shit. So, Juno is going
Hang
to think
on.
about it for a long time. Yes.
Yeah, someone's gonna just like someone's going to pull one more card. And see what we end up getting to see if it's more helpful than like, you know, these three bitches that are colluding with each other.
What
This is
inspires someone
amazing.
to do this?
What?
What inspires someone to pull another card? It's
like a gut feeling. He also he feels that like Panarin's trying to tell him something or like tell Juno something, but she's not being as helpful as she thinks she's being. So he's like, I'm gonna give you one more shot to like throw us a bone here.
Yeah.
It's like I because like Samhain doesn't know why Juno has asked for this. So like seeing the three of these together by themselves, he's like, this is not like helpful in any way.
What's this red flag doing in the tarot deck? Weird.
It's alarming, I'm sure.
Okay. So the card that I drew. Sorry, this is my true black deck, and it's like really hard to figure out who it is on the card.
Sure.
Because iconography is like, while it's really beautiful, they embossed like the name of the card. And
I have a deck like that over there.
Like I have to catch the reflection and go, who the fuck is this? Yeah. I drew the King of Pentacles. He is not reversed. So this card is abundance, power, and security. The fruits of worldly ambition have brought financial success, a sense of abundance, stability, and security. The King of Pentacles is a fatherly figure that provides all of those things and is also someone that is happy to share all that he has accumulated.
Okay. Well, I think power is fitting. Like abundant power. Juno is going to send a message, ascending, slightly broken voice, saying thank you, Solomon. The hard decisions you've made, have they been worth it?
I think it's a little early to tell, but I think the ends will justify the means.
So when you hear an aside in your head, I think I'm definitely worth it.
Yeah, like so Salwa's just like gonna like think back at Alzo's like, I took a really big gamble assuming that you were there, like even there as you are in the first place.
You speak true. I do not deny.
And then I'll just like share with Juniper that like when I spoke with old Zaka, that was the wisdom that she shared with me, is that while I don't really feel great for having to have made these choices, if I want the world to be a better place, I have to make difficult decisions. So I shall make them.
So the nature of the spell means that when Juno says thank you, he doesn't hear her. But I think if it's okay,
Yeah, go for it.
She's going to just take a moment to deal with that. And then she's going to go up onto the deck and bring the book with her. And how's the maelstrom looking at this point?
It's in the distance still, but menacing.
She's going to go to the edge of the boat.
You see Blade is standing there leaning over the edge, staring at the maelstrom.
And she's kind of got like the book under her arm. She's looking down at the water. Have you been through this one before?
I've been through my share of storms. I'm long ago, the world was different. Elves, in particular, were different. We used to live forever.
Oh, that sounds rough. I mean, I guess if you're used to it.
You don't really get used to the grief.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing all your friends age and die. Age and die. You can't help but make new friends. You're a social creature. But there's always that sadness, that knowledge that everyone around you is going to age and die. So I've seen my fair share of storms. This isn't even the worst.
What gets you through them?
My husband made a great sacrifice to allow him to be with me. It cost him a lot, but that's my rock.
So it's something to have faith in.
He is more something to steady me. Something that holds me afloat, no matter the storm. He's been through a lot. We've been through a lot. I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah. And he's an elf like you?
No.
Oh.
He made a deal with two, really, I guess, old beings to protect them.
Oh.
It cost him a lot.
Two beings to protect. Okay, for a second, she immediately, she thought of, what's his name? The guy that Samhain. What's his name? Starts with A. Huh?
Algernon?
Algernon. I think she might say, wow, that sounds like Algernon.
Blade, twitches and, looks at you and furrows her brow.
You know Algernon?
Algernon and Siba.
Yes.
I thought I was being vague, not specific.
Well, someone that's protecting two beings. I mean, I have a friend who talks to people like that, and I have a friend who watches, and might have run into them. Not me personally too often. Saw them from a distance.
That is I guess he's moving again then.
Is he your husband?
No. God, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was getting really okay.
No. No, my husband was given extended life by agreeing to protect Siba.
Oh. Wow. There must be something really special about Siva.
There must be, although I will admit that I know not exactly what it is.
Yeah. That's wow. Okay. Yeah, that's new.
Long ago, there were 5 great warriors. You've probably heard the tale before. Everyone has.
Yeah.
But there's a part of it that matters, I think. There were times when they were given the opportunity to betray each other. There were times that they were tempted, but they never did. They, though, did once, as a group, agree to take on more power than perhaps they should have. But because they were in it together, because they were there to take care of each other, it all worked out. Plus, you don't really hear about the goddess of murder anymore, do you?
No, I have not heard of that one.
See? Sometimes I like to check. I know that was nothing to you, but I cannot tell you how great it is to be able to say, has anyone heard of the goddess of murder? And everyone says, nope, never heard of that one. See, it's a true pleasure in my life.
Yeah. That's good. I might feel that way about plague one day. Thank you for talking to me about this. That's a lot.
We are happy to have done so. I can see that you're dealing with much. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Thanks.
She stands up from leaning against the edge and starts to walk away, and then cocks her head and turns around and walks back over to you and gets down on one knee right in front of you and spreads her hands and just hugs you.
Oh, okay, yeah, big hug.
I'm not always the best at picking up on signals, but a friend of mine suggested that you might need a hug.
Oh.
Let's go. And stands up and walks away.
Okay. um, Juno is. Shoot, now I don't even know what Juno's going to do. Let me think on it for a second.
Well, then perhaps what we'll do is we'll have the scene end there with Juno
Yeah,
trying to decide, staring into the maelstrom. And I think with that, we'll go to our break.
that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. We'll be back in 10, everyone. Take care. Hey everyone, hope you're doing okay. Hope you had a nice little break there. We got water, we got snacks, we feel better, and we are ready to continue the drama. But before we do, as always, I like to take a moment right now, right here at the top of the second part of the show, to encourage you, yes, you, to do something nice for someone else. The world is a rough and difficult place to be right now, and frequently, even the smallest acts of kindness can have really powerful and impactful reactions from the people around you. I think that everything is rough, and anytime you can do anything to alleviate the roughness from others, that is a powerful thing to do. My current project is to literally just cycle through my friends and every day do something nice for one friend. Sometimes it takes me 3 minutes, sometimes it takes me an hour or two, but just something I try and do it for them. And so from that perspective, I encourage you to do the same thing as well. It's a beautiful and nice thing to do. As always, if you are enjoying our content, check out some of our other shows on this channel. We've got shows on 2 shows on Thursdays, not this morning because of shared living space issues, but mostly on Thursdays. 2 shows, one in the morning and this one that you're watching now, and the one in the morning that is right now a group of people trying to form a union and or debating the ethics of blood magic. And then on Sundays, we've got another group of people who are currently running rancid all over the city that these folks, well, at least 3/4 of these folks have abandoned. And right now they are trying to rescue a witch who was kidnapped, who these folks are friends with, but did not know was kidnapped. But she'll be rescued soon. So that's nice. Yes, sorry, Jess, I just dropped that information on you. I apologize for dropping that on you on stream. Sorry, Jess, you haven't been here. Masha Seasworn was kidnapped. And is being held in some familiar prisons or dungeons, as I like to say. The prisons and or dungeons from the first episode. Who would have known? Sorry. Anyway, they're trying to rescue her, and they're having a lot of fun. They both they have both gone in through the party and through the party prep and through the secret entrance from the basement. So simultaneously, and last episode charmed a 2-headed alligator. So good stuff, because good stuff. Anyway, back to this story. Guys, how you doing?
Well, it's been a morning of education and learning, but I think she really, really wants to get her tattoo before they hit the maelstrom because seems like a good idea. So she will. Is it okay to assume that like maybe Song and her have been like going back and forth?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then probably we'll go find them and see if they can get this thing done.
Yeah. So Song wants to do this tattoo. So they show you a sketch of this tattoo. I do not show you a sketch of this tattoo because I, Matthew, am a horrible artist. But presuming that you guys have been working back and forth together, I presume that Kaz is quite happy with the shape and direction of this tattoo. Phases of the moon. So Song gets to work doing this tattoo for you. And I would like you to do me a favor.
Okay.
I would like you to roll 1d100.
Oh, okay.
Nope. I take it back. Hold on. Oh no, 57 is good. We'll take it.
Okay.
Great. So why don't you describe to me what it feels like to get this tattoo, what it looks like, what you're thinking about while you're getting it, where it's positioned on your body, all those things.
So after going back and forth, the final design is it's going to go vertically down along her spine. It is the phases of the moon, but it's a little bit more intricate. It's like detailed in gold.
Mhm.
And it's like it has a lot of like curling patterns, and it complements her skin tone, which has an undertone of gold to it. And I imagine going under the needle is a bit nerve-wracking, but not terrifying.
Mhm.
Um, Probably feeling like more excited than anything, like butterflies.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Can you roll for me 1d8 plus 1?
Okay. 1d8. This one. 8.
Intriguing. Okay. Let me look at this, think about things. Can you have a conversation with someone while I figure something out? So that the screen isn't dead with me just figuring things out.
Oh boy.
Who would watch you having a tattoo? Would someone come and watch? Like come in and check on you?
I would tell Thomas and Juno both that I'm doing it if either of them want to be present.
Thomas, why don't you come check out the tattoo? For me, thank you.
Oh, I mean, I'm definitely telling Juniper as well. Hey, someone's going to stick some needles into Kazan. Let's go watch. He takes his books and stuff up and
Yeah. So
come on, it's fun. People without fur do this all the time. Let's go.
yeah. Oh, assuming that it hasn't begun yet, I probably show both of you the design. Like, isn't this gonna look cool? It's gonna look cool, right?
Yes.
I'm kind of scared because of the size of it. Like, it's gonna be my entire back. Like, I feel like when people get tattoos, they don't go big for the first one, but I thought that doesn't sound like me.
No, I mean, certainly you've dealt with enough physically in the near future that it might feel like nothing. Of course, if you do get a tattoo over a bonier section of your body, such as, I don't know, vertebrae,
Yeah.
it may feel rather strongly, but you're strong. You can take it. And he like claps her on the shoulder and looks at Juniper like,
Yeah, I thought about that. But then I thought about how it would look a lot cooler. Like all the cool places are over the bone. So what can you do?
that is true. Is it for your mother?
Yes, that was the inspiration for it, but I can't say that it's super sentimental. It's just I wanted a cool tattoo. I need to think of a theme. You know.
Sometimes it's nice to just do something for yourself.
Yeah, it is. And I've been wanting to get a tattoo.
Okay, you ready? I've got my inks ready.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, you've chosen a spot where this is going to hurt a little bit, but you're tough.
Yeah.
Do you want to hold my hand?
Yeah.
Yeah,
wanna-
June's gonna hold her hand.
Do you want to roll a con saving throw to see if you pass out?
Sure. Oh boy. Oh, 20.
Yeah, you're fine.
Eh.
Yeah, no big deal. You've literally gone through worse as part of your training, probably. So, yeah. At the end of it, it's the skin is raw still, but Song does good work. It looks like the picture. It looks like the art that's decided, and it feels impactful.
Whoa. That hurts. but wow. Not as much as I thought it would. Is that because you're just really good at tattooing?
Thank you.
I appreciate you doing all this for me. That took a while.
Yeah. 6 hours. My wrist's a little cramped.
I feel like I should do something for you. I should pay you. I should pay you. I don't know how much. You tell me.
I'll tell the captain to add it to the bill.
Okay. We'll say I owe you one.
Sure. I like that. Oh, is good.
Well,
You might
yeah.
She sort of blinks her eyes and like they seem confused when they blink their eyes for a second and say, I might sleep outside tonight. Under the moon.
Do you usually do that?
No, I mean to like cold air will help the tattoo heal.
Oh, I should sleep under the moon?
Yeah. They seem to be blinking a lot.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just let the tattoo breathe a little. And fill it with the moon. I'm gonna hit the hammock.
Okay. Yeah, get some rest, and I'll check on you a little bit later.
And goes downstairs.
Okay. I'm supposed to fill it with the moon. All right. I need a rest anyways, so I'll find a spot on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one that's not occupied,
Mhm.
because I'm gonna strip down
Mhm.
and just lay down on the ship, face down.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It is quite soothing. And it feels cool on your back. And after being repeatedly stabbed with a needle, it kind of feels like cool water. Feels refreshing. Thomas and Juno, would either of you take a midnight stroll at any point, or?
I think.
I mean, Kaz is in your room.
Yeah, I think Juno, seeing that Kaz is not in the room, would probably be a little sleepless anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So she would head out just to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see Kaz is sort of on the side of the deck out of the way, sleeping on the deck. And it's very easy to see because the ink in her tattoo is glowing with moonlight.
Oh. Yeah, Juno's gonna, just in case, get a little bit closer. And if she's on the side of the boat, there's probably a railing or something.
Mm-hmm.
She's just gonna kind of settle down on the railing near Kaz just to make sure that she's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kaz seems very asleep to you.
She's gonna kind of look up at the moon. Does it seem different?
Seems like the moon.
Well, and she'll just kind of look at the moon and be like, if it's you doing this, thanks. And she'll make sure that her abjuration spells or her spell components are all prepared.
Mhm.
And I think she'll just kind of like hang out there and maybe just fall asleep on the side of the boat.
Kaz, when you wake up, Juno is sleeping very near you. Her hands are holding a book. The book.
And it's like, I guess, daytime now?
Mhm.
Next
Yeah.
day?
Early morning.
Oh, I'm just gonna put my armor back on. Does the tattoo feel any better?
Yeah, it feels healed. Feels a lot
Okay.
better.
Okay. I can't see it, so
Mhm.
and I will pick Juno up and take her to our room so she can sleep in a bed.
Hammock, but yeah.
And a hammock.
Cool. Beautiful. Samhain, how you doing?
Doing good, I guess.
So a nondescript lizard folk shows up at Mela Stepwise's house.
Yeah.
The guards sort of look at you there.
I'm here to meet with Counselor Stepwise.
Oh, you're the one that that Juniper told us about, yes? The one that's going to be helping out a little bit for the next couple of weeks?
I don't think Juniper over the table. I don't think someone would have told Juniper that he was going to do this.
I think also over the table while you were not here, I think Juniper set this up. Like just said, like I think you may not have told Juniper, but I think Jess may have told Faye.
Oh yeah.
You're muted, Juniper, if you're saying anything.
Yeah, shoot, sorry. I might have gotten my wires crossed on that.
It happens sometimes. No, yeah, Juniper just sort of set up that you were going to have access.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like the basic thing was like, Mela, I'm going out of town for a couple weeks, so this lizard folk is going to be subbing.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. That's sorry. There you go. Yes.
Yeah. The name's Keller. Riptide. Is she in?
Yes. She's having breakfast.
Are they gonna let me?
Oh, yes, of course. And they pull apart their cross spears and open the door. Counselor Stepwise, Keller, Master Keller Riptide is here. Juniper's substitute. Well, send him in.
So like, I walk into the kitchen and go, "How do you do, counselor?"
I assume that you're one of Samhain's disguises.
Have her guards like walked out?
Yeah, they're like when they saw that she nodded to you and like seemed to expect you, they like stepped out. You know, there's an element where like they're supposed to protect her, but at the same time they know that she can cast 8th level spells.
Yeah.
So there's like a degree of like casualness, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You got me.
Oh no, I approve of the disguise. Do what you need to feel safe. I will say that Juno and I have been working and we've been doing our best to magically ward this place, so you should be at least relatively safe here. Although if anything truly delicate comes up, please let me know and we can have a discussion pertaining to extra safety.
I think like over the table, like really briefly, like I'm gonna nod at her
Mm-hmm.
just so I can fill her in, but I don't like want to rehash everything.
Sure. Yeah. So you. Okay. So she opens up a super protective place. There's a dome. It's largish, but not that large. And I think she gives you some eggs. You're the bad influence friend, but you're still a friend, you know? So like you're like, yeah, you show up here in your leather jacket, I mean illusion disguise, and like, yeah, you're gonna do but I'm still, a mom, so here are some eggs and hash browns. So
Yeah, it's fine.
mhm,
Um, yeah, so like I just fill her in on all the
mhm,
stuff that I learned about Quick Eyes so that she's up to speed, whether or not she knew it.
mhm,
Um, and then the second item on my list with her is letting her know the weird stuff I'm gonna be doing
mhm.
when uh do I really want to tell her that?
It's your call.
Um okay, I guess I'll have this conversation with her and be like, you agree that Alepum is a problem, correct?
Yes.
And that it is
You heard
perfectly
about the
okay.
assassinations that he did?
What?
Sorry. You heard about Admiral Kellier and Evangelina?
What happened with them?
They were assassinated, likely by Aleppo.
Oh, in the usual fashion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first things first, I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Mm.
I know it's difficult to deal with grief the first time, especially like since you were betrayed, but then also to have to deal with it a second time is really rough.
Yes. Um, anything? Oh, sorry, my throat's been tickling lately. Um, anything else?
Oh, the reason why I brought him up, not to like spoil your appetite over breakfast, but it is agreed that he needs to be dealt with by any means necessary, correct?
Sure.
Um, to also clarify, is he actually really like royalty descended, or is that just a line he's feeding to people?
It's a little unclear. He's an ash tiefling, certainly. We have anti-illusion spells that even he probably
Yep.
couldn't break, and so that means that on some level he's probably related. But the truth of the matter is that, like, if you see someone who is a tiefling, they probably have just as much claim to the defunct throne of an overthrown empire as anyone, yourself included. I'm not saying that he doesn't have maybe a slightly stronger claim just by virtue of the color of his skin, but you know, we overthrew that system a while ago.
Okay. Well, um, when it's like, so someone's just gonna say like a day is like,
Mhm.
I'm going to be taking care of it, and I'm going to become the new pet tiefling at the council, basically.
With the purpose of manipulating things in a better direction.
Correct. But I wanted to let you know that that's happening.
It's a good plan. A lot of risk on you, protects a lot of people. Very single-minded of you.
I can't tell if that cough was in character or out of
It's in
character.
character. I know that I have a cough too, but I would probably be muting if it was out of character.
Okay. No, I just wanted to. Are you okay?
And I had a cough for the last week,
The last week.
roughly.
So the day that they left on the ship, you've had this cough.
Yeah.
How long do you spend in a room with Alepham?
I saw him briefly this week for like 30 minutes, but there were a lot of people there and I didn't go in contact with him.
That doesn't. How brief is brief?
30 minutes. Oh, you mean how? I mean, we weren't alone and we didn't come in contact.
That that's not what I. That's not what I mean.
He wouldn't do something like this to me. I'm protected. I'm not. Anytime I'm in the presence of anyone who poses any sense of risk to me whatsoever, I have protection magics on. I'm quite good at This is probably just a cold. The only one I've spent any extended length of time with not protected is you. And I guess I had a meeting with Lady Iria.
Okay. The cough is slightly concerning, but we'll circle back to that. The other reason why I'm here, besides providing you the update about the general and letting you know that I'm going to deal with Prince, I need to borrow your books on
Conduits?
the conduits, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good thing to do. I'm glad that you would do research and study. Juniper's out, as you know. You should feel free to use her office. I've checked to make sure that there's no there's no magical locks there that should prevent you from anything. If you need more books, you can always check my library as well. It's the door next door. And if you want to talk about anything, feel free to talk to me. I'm going to be out tonight. There's a party at the Proudwater estate that I'm supposed to be at.
Have you been checking your food?
Yes. Why?
And your tea?
Of course. Juno.
At home?
Yes.
And while you're out?
I'm sure.
You're sure or you know? There's a difference between like sure and knowing for a fact.
It would have been rude in one circumstance, but it was fine.
You don't sound fine.
It's just a cold, Sawin. You're overreacting for nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna like, yeah, this is the he's gonna be like, and he's just gonna like take her cup and be like, takes a drink from it. Does he feel any different?
No, he feels fine.
Okay.
See, I checked that tea. I check everything that's in this house.
Okay.
I promise you, it's just a cold. There's, unless you're trying to. The only food I have eaten that I did not check was when I was having lunch with Lady Iria last week. And you cannot convince me for anything that Lady Iria tried to poison me.
I don't think that Lady Iria would, but it is possible that somebody in her household who brought the food could.
I'm sure that she checks her stuff. I swear, it's just a cold. I'm going to this party this evening. Everything will be fine.
Who's going with you to this party?
The Proudwater estate. I'm sure that all of the local significant noble stick-up butt people will be there, as well as the politicians and merchants guilds and anyone trying to make a name for themselves in any fashion. Magli's making an appearance. She rolled her eyes.
Will you have need of your temporary aid at this party?
I wasn't intending on inconveniencing you. Though if you would like to accompany me, you should feel free to do so.
It would make me feel much better if maybe maybe perhaps I did.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check or intimidation or whatever social skill you
I'm
feel
just gonna
appropriate.
persuade her. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna persuade her because I
That's fair.
don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't need to bully an old lady.
Yeah.
I got a 28.
Well, I'm sure that'll be fine. I guess I wouldn't object to the company. I'm used to having Juno there with me. I can give you a signal to pull me out of any boring conversations.
Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. Yeah, I'll need to pull your books about conduits. And if you have anything relating to, I don't know, like keeping somebody in your mind for a certain period of time, that would also be helpful.
Sure. Yeah. I'll go grab some things from my library, and I'll meet you in Juno's office.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Gotta get the study on.
Get your study on. Gotta love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Excellent. Let's cut to Thomas. I want to be clear. I'm not saying, but if we get to the party scene, there may be a retcon because it may also involve another party on Sunday, and so figuring out how all that stuff is balanced will just, clarity, vagueness, foofy. Thomas,
I'm just trying not to die laughing over here because every time you clear your throat, I can feel stress spike every single time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Ow.
Yes. So basically, whereabouts are we on the timeline for approaching the Maelstrom?
Yeah, we're getting closer. It's impending. I think at the rate we're going, my intention is to kick off the next session at the start of that. From a metagame knowledge perspective, from a in-character perspective, you're days away. It's getting close. You can see it.
Okay.
It's scary.
Okay, yeah, it's about that time. So he's going to go and kind of knock on Oceana's cabin and see if she's in.
Thomas, come in.
Hello, I was just wondering, do you have a little chunk of time right now?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
wonderful.
trying to just for the record, I am trying to keep my mind clear and calm in preparation for the events to come. So while I certainly have time, I would prefer not to have any stressful emotions, if possible.
Understandable. Is your plan to meditate for the next couple of days then?
Well, to practice meditating, at least.
Just 24/7.
I mean, in the usual... Thomas, what are you getting at? She says exasperatedly.
Well, we haven't really discussed much about, what is going to be happening when we pull up to this place. And I thought that, it might be a good idea to get that out of the way ahead of time, just so that we all know where we're at and that there aren't any surprises.
How much experience do you have sailing?
I don't think I didn't see the eye roll, first of all. And I'm not talking about the Maelstrom itself. I'm talking about the city.
Oh, Caprina. Oh, sure. Yeah, that we can talk about. I was sorry. I apologize. I have... You know me. Sometimes I think about the next problem rather than the problem after. Yes, Caprina. Yes, what about it?
Well, I thought it might be a good idea. I'm not sure what sort of instructions your crew is under, but I thought it might be a good idea to get myself and Juniper and Kazan in here and sort of caucus about what it means to sail into a town full of demons. And, because I know you've been through the Maelstrom before, but do you have much experience with demons? Have you ever been to this place?
I have lots of experience with all sorts of strange things. Yeah, bring them in. Are they out there waiting?
They will be in a moment. I'll be right back. He walks off, like, when he's out of earshot, he's talking to himself like, it's all right. It's okay. You're just going to have an honest conversation with your daughter. This is fine. Fabian did it every day when she was a teenager, even. Although Faye had cannons, but that's fine. Yeah.
We get a brief scene of the quartermaster, sorry, the first mate, the hobgoblin Kaza, comes in and looks at Oceana, and Oceana says, I know that I'm not going to use them, but we have manacles still in that room, right? Thomas's room? Mm-hmm. Yes, Captain. Yes, we do. Great. That's great. Thank you, Kaza. I appreciate you as always.
Over the table, I would like to see her try, but okay. So yeah, I think if Juniper and Kaz respectively aren't doing anything, or we should probably put our heads together. And Oceana's free right now, as much as she ever is. And could maybe kind of talk in her cabin?
Okay.
It'll be great. Act natural.
Acting.
Which she's not doing at all. And he heads back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that there's a kobold in the room hanging out with Oceana. And as you guys come in, it's Iki, in case you're curious. Iki is the quartermaster. Come on in. Take a seat. Make yourself comfortable. There's a couple of chairs put around.
He does so.
So, Thomas, what did you want to speak about? Please tell me.
All right. Well, I know we're going to be approaching this place. I'm not extremely familiar with any legends or anything about it. From what you and your father seem to relay, it's supposed to be in the eye of this thing, or past it, or what? How much do we know?
The eye. The Maelstrom covers a lot of territory. It's all there. But the city, at least according to the old maps, is right in the center of it. And according to legend, is, well, apparently partially above water and partially below.
You don't mean like a canal city, do you?
Well, that's what it was originally, but my understanding is that to deal with the weather, at least so say the legends, they built massive underwater domes that were clean air or something like that. I don't fully understand. It's all legend and myth anyway.
Insight check.
Yeah, roll an insight check.
While Juno's eyeing her, I think Thomas is like, oh, well, that makes more sense. You hear legends about merfolk and things like that, but that couldn't be real.
Merfolk are real.
Do tell.
Merfolk are real. Your 1, by the way, does not beat my 25.
Yeah, I'm feeling.
Just in case you're curious.
Just sneaking suspicion.
And they haven't made contact with us because we smell or something?
They have. Just not here. There aren't really merfolk in the Shimmering Sea. They're more beyond. Other oceans.
Huh.
Hey, Thomas, did you always want to like talk to a mermaid?
You know, I wish almost some days I could go back to the days when I went to the moon and mer people are real were, you know, startling comments. But
Look, Thomas,
at this point,
I can't help the fact that you are like tied to that city.
well, we all have our homes. It's important to know where you stand.
I guess you have to stand somewhere. It's the nicest place as any. So, what, you're curious about more myths, more legends?
No, I just as far as I suppose searching for this item, this quill. I mean, Kazan, you can track things, can't you? I mean, but that would require going over the entire city with a fine-tooth comb, and that feels like a lot of time.
I can't really track something I've never seen before.
Also, your magic probably won't work.
Oh, and that's fun.
So I suppose removing the fact that they're all demons, one way to approach it would be to treat the city like the demons we know and infiltrate it until we can find people to pump the information. I mean,
I'm not entirely convinced that we'll find many people on the other side.
so you think the whole place might be overrun with demons by now, or
it could be a ghost town. Or maybe people are just sitting there drinking champagne and having a grand old time. I don't know of any. I don't know of any way to get information from inside the city. You're asking things. They're good questions, Thomas. They're great questions, but they involve reconnaissance, and reconnaissance is the only thing we cannot do. We don't have any way of knowing what's inside the city. There's no way to get insight into what's going on there. No one's ever been there and reportedly been out alive.
Thomas very slowly turns to look at Mercury on his shoulder.
Yes, well,
just an idea. I suppose it depends on what sort of condition we find the city in, but I mean, if there's going to be domes around, well, parts of it, that might be more difficult, but if some of it is above ground, might you be up for a flyover?
I'll get lost in the maelstrom if I fly from here, but once we're through, sure.
Oh yeah, no, not at the moment.
Only so much I can deduce from the air, though. You know, always hard to tell.
No, of course.
How like if Juno is in like the corner of the room, is it possible for her to cast a secret spell? I have a feeling she'll have to do like sleight of hand or something.
Yeah, I think that's totally appropriate. What spell are you seeking to cast?
Telepathic bombs.
Sure. Let me take a look at it.
Because you take pieces of eggshell from two different kinds of creatures.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's definitely a sleight of hand. So tell me how you are hiding this. Are you like, what do you? The spell is like what you have to crunch these pieces of eggshell together to form a bond, or you have to like, I don't know. What do you do with them?
I think what would be kind of cool is you put like one inside the other and like arrange the halves in such a way that they're almost level.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, then that's definitely sleight of hand.
Okay.
I want to know passive perceptions of Kaz and Thomas.
21, and I have the observant feat if it helps.
It does.
21 is your passive. Jeez Louise.
I have the observant feat.
Perception?
Passive perception.
Oh, passive perception. My passive perception is 8.
Nice.
Okay.
Over the table, now that Caliban is an NPC, do I have the highest passive perception?
Oh yeah, by far. I have
Excellent.
someone who also has observant, but their wisdom isn't as high as yours, so they are at 19 right now. They're low level. Their proficiency is not as high as yours. So.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll sleight of hand then.
Yep, go for it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So you see Juno in the corner crunching some eggshells. I think there's like this awkward silence because like Oceana says, "There's no chance for like we have no information. There's nothing to do," and like as she says, "Do," there's like no reply for a second. You just hear cracking eggshells.
I'm sorry, are you hungry?
A little. And
Do you think it can wait?
maybe, and in your and Kaz's head, she's gonna say, we could have somebody on the inside. Internally, you could respond internally. Do not respond externally.
Anyway, Thomas is going to keep moving it forward and let them coordinate if they need to. I mean, I suppose that's our best chance at getting a view from the air. I mean, honestly, everything is an if at this point, but there's no reason not to kind of think it through. And if you can, if Mercury is able to get a glimpse of some sort of entrance to these underground areas, I mean, that could definitely be a start.
Internally, you hear, and it might be that my magic can work.
So, if we're going, I mean, the fact that magic works differently or not at all, that's as much a legend as any of the rest of this.
Except that I've been in the storm, and there it certainly was true.
But in the eye of it, I mean, it's not so far-fetched to believe that might be different.
You're not wrong, Thomas. You're definitely not wrong. I just think it would be foolish to count on it. I would appreciate Sir Mercury's help. My intention was to send out scouts from the men.
I mean, Juniper, you can cast invisibility. Oceana, can any of your people do something similar?
Sure. Again, if magic works.
Of course. Let's see. I suppose, I mean, if the plan was to send out some people to scout regardless, I hate the thought of putting your crew in more danger than they may have signed up for, but if we can have you in the air and them on the ground.
Thomas, this is what they signed up for.
I mean, I didn't want to presume. Taking us this far is more than I would have hoped for.
Thomas, by all the deities of sea, you are an aggravating human being.
Thank you.
You are an aggravating human.
Maybe we should keep y'all separate during the maelstrom.
You're telling me, oh my gosh.
I'm just trying to come up with some ideas here so that whatever we find, we don't have to sit around consuming a lot of time then. We can kind of see the situation and act on what we already have thought through.
Okay.
This may not be a stabbable problem.
My people are better at more than just stabbing.
No, I know, but it's the problem-solving approach.
It is my intention when we get through the Maelstrom to dock the ship somewhere. I imagine a floating city has places to dock. I didn't think that was far. I didn't think that was much of a stretch, as it were. It was then my following intention to send out people from my crew to scout. Who was going to lead them? I hadn't honestly made that decision, but probably Kaza. They were going to do a scouting mission, discover what was there, what was not there, what was going on, and all that good stuff, any information we could do. At that point, we would have some information. They're good people, they're stealthy, they're quiet, they know how to do things. The boat isn't that stealthy though, so we're a little screwed on that front. Not much I can do about that. But they would scout, they would return, and then with that new information, I could then impart wisdom to you. I could then gift you with this knowledge that I have now accumulated. I don't know, a path, a suggestion, anything that you were just going to ignore anyway.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. I might be
Not even
contrary, but I'm capable
even-
of listening to reason.
You are inherently a disagreeable human. You have always been an inherently
Contrary. Okay, all right, proving your point. You know what?
Dad was right about you.
Internally, because
In what regard?
In every regard.
Are fighting.
Should we stop now?
I'm too scared. This is internally. I am way too scared to stop them.
Do me a favor for a moment. Take my hand. All right.
Puts her hand out awkwardly.
When they clasp hands, he is going to use Gaze of Two Minds to feel what she's feeling and perceive what she's perceiving.
Oh. Let me consider this for a second.
Oh, shit.
What? I'm not a parent. A Goofy movie is the best guidance I have on this.
Yeah. Okay. Is she willing? Yeah. Why not?
I mean,
Yeah, I like it. I think that's awesome. I think that's really freaking awesome. What is Oceana feeling? Frustration, exhaustion, exasperation, like you don't listen to her, like you don't trust her, like you want to micromanage her, like you are overbearing, and like she's trying to do you this favor, and you are, instead of like just going along and accepting this as a favor, are trying to like quantify and qualify everything. Like you're trying to organize her life that she's quite happy with. More than she certainly feels more than you are actually doing.
what?
You know. But there's a seed of truth there.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Juniper and Kaz, what are you doing during this like awkward exchange? Like
Eating popcorn meme.
Yeah. Like, should I? We shouldn't interfere, right? They're just.
I don't think we should. I think she'll kill us.
I think we're just here, like, so if something happens, there's a witness,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. If someone draws a weapon, then I'll do something.
okay.
Or if someone cries.
I don't know what you guys think is going to be doable if somebody starts crying, especially one of these two people, but okay. What's Iki doing?
Yeah. Iki is trying to be as small as possible in the opposite corner. Kind of
God.
the mirror image of Juno. Just like shrinking She's uncomfortable.
All right. Thomas, let's go. No, that's an invocation I haven't taken. Okay, never mind. Sorry, thought scrambled. He's going to say, I have absolute trust in the competency of your crew because you lead them, and because if you were not capable of doing so, the lot of you would probably be dead a dozen times over by now. And that has nothing to do with Fabian and nothing to do with me. We haven't talked about this, and perhaps I shouldn't have assumed that this was a discussion I needed to be part of, or that I shouldn't have thought that you would for a moment consider sailing in blind, because that's lunacy. But at the same time, I ask what I'm asking out of a genuine desire for none of the perfectly admirable rogues on this ship, or my friends, or God forbid, yourself, to have something happen to them during this endeavor. The reason I'm here is because another friend has suffered on my account, and in recovering them, I do not intend to lose another person. I don't intend to lose you under any circumstances. So...
You can't control everything, Thomas. And trying is hard and hurts and sometimes costs more than you want. You can't control the ocean. You can only work with it.
I suppose not having a concrete set of plans could come in handy were there any demons skulking around to try to pry it out of people's minds when we pull up.
And I'll admit that any scrap of information that we get is going to be immensely helpful. Even the tiniest morsel of a clue will potentially save lives. Now, are we okay?
No, we're okay.
Okay.
And he kind of looks at Juniper and Kaz and at Iki. And it's like, well, I guess I literally fill this room with people. He says, there has never been a moment in my life where I haven't worried that something wasn't happening to you at that moment. It's what I do. I chose the path that I'm on, and Fabian chose his. And I've worried about you every minute of your life, and that's not going to change. So
I'm not asking it to change. I don't mind the worry. It honestly feels a little nice that people care about me. I'm just also asking for trust.
if there's anyone that I would trust to get us in and out of this, it's you.
Well, I am a pirate queen.
Of course, naturally. Well, I was also going to ask if, because I know you, if there was anything else that you had going on, any other plates up in the air regarding things you wanted to accomplish in this city, because I'd rather know about them now and not when we're all trying to get the hell out of there and I can't find you.
But... Oh, sure. Just for clarity's sake, I am a city that is lost to time, possessed by demons, and we know has magical artifacts in it at a minimum. I'm expecting to turn a tidy profit.
Well, if that coincides with one of us being adjacent to you, please let us know how we can help.
There are bags. Fill them with gold.
Aye, Captain.
Good.
And nobody's making any deals with any demons, right? Right?
They've been well trained. Trust me. Some of them are... they know not to accept bad bargains when they're offered. They know to accept only the good ones.
Excellent, because there's no winning for us in there, or any living thing.
Yeah.
You can still find it. Never mind.
Look, I think it's tragic what happened to that place, and if there are honestly people still inside, I want to help them, but we have to have priorities.
Our priorities are this crew. And for this mission, that certainly includes the three of you.
Well, it's an honor.
Don't
it's been very nice getting to
stick out here like sore thumb, Thomas. Okay.
What are you talking about? I blend in perfectly. Pirates love me.
That's certainly true. Certainly true. And I think that's wrap up that scene, unless you do another line.
Just if they're all filing, if we're all leaving, does Ziki leave too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thomas tries to be the last person out the door, and he kind of like turns around and he's like, incidentally, when was the last time you slept?
Fine.
I'm just saying, you've got capable people.
Thanks, Thomas.
Love you.
Good night.
He swishes out.
Excellent. Kaz, do you want to see?
I do, but it's not of substance.
Great. Small scenes are great.
Okay. And I also don't know if it's even going to work, so let me ask if it's going to work first.
Go for it.
Does Juno count as a young adult?
Juno?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Just like in Foxfolk years, she's not yet able to drink, so young adult.
Okay. So I have a spell called Ceremony.
One of my favorite spells.
And one aspect of this is a coming of age ceremony in which I Okay, as long as if she's a young adult, then this will work. So I'll just go through the motions. So the necklace that I wear is one that I got from my mother, and on the back there's a long trail of beads. So I'll go to our shared room where hopefully she is not, and detach one of the beads. I'm gonna just, I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, so I'm just gonna say that it's easy to grind down.
Sure.
And I do that. This will take me an hour to do. So with that ground down powder, I'm just gonna think about Juno, about all of the tough decisions, or the tough decision ahead of her, all the tough decisions she has made, and just bow my head down in prayer for that length of time.
Beautiful. Juniper, as a result of this, any saving throw you make, you can add a d4 to.
Nice.
It's ability check.
Oh, it's ability check. I thought it was saving throws.
Yeah, it's an ability check.
You're right. Sorry, it is any ability check that you're making, which would include the magic of intent. You can add a d4 to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I would say at the end of it, the powder is glowing. It's like a glowing, shimmery silver dust, and I'll just find Juno and see if she's okay with me putting this dust on her ears. Okay, and then I will just the tips of her little earsies.
Do they glitter?
Yes.
Yay.
For narrative power reasons, this obviously doesn't last forever, but I am going to say that the timing on this allows it to last into and perhaps even through Caprina, depending on how long you spend there. But we're going to presume that like this is done the night before the Nailstrom.
Yeah, that was the intent.
And as a coming of age ceremony.
Oh.
Oh, you are now magically of age.
Delightful.
With silver ears. I love it. That's so cute. Salman, how you doing?
Yeah, how am I making out in the study?
Yeah, so what particularly are you looking for? What information are you looking for? And you're doing great at it, because there's all sorts of things to help you here.
I guess, like, if they talk about, like, I guess anything to dealing with, like, mental fortitude is something that, like, someone's gonna primarily focus on, or, like, tips and tricks for keeping your inner mind sanctum healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the good news for Jess.
Yes.
Keeping your inner mind safe and healthy is rooted on charisma.
Dope.
AKA willpower. AKA charisma saving throws. Strength of will is going to be the thing that's going to help you the most. I think mechanically the best thing to do here for me is to have you roll a roll. I think it's going to be an Arcana check. You can put any, if you've got if I don't know if you can inspire yourself or anything like that, but you can add to this if you want. And the higher you roll, the larger the bonus when you are attempting to do this thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have guidance.
Great, guidance is perfect.
I don't know what you mean by like things that I can use to help boost this.
I don't know if you have I can't remember the rules if you've got like an inspiration for self.
Bardic inspiration only works for
There's a
other
bard that can
people.
do it to themselves. I think
it's like a valor bard is
yeah, that makes
somebody
sense.
who can do it to themselves.
Which is so makes sense with that ego. Let's see. I'll just take a glance at your sheet and see what you have here. I'll allow you to spend inspiration on this.
Sure.
You've certainly earned it at some point. Let's see, what else could help you here? I'm just gonna look at your spells quickly. Sorry if I'm moving your page around while you're not.
Oh yeah,
Guidance
no, that's fine.
obviously helps. Ooh, some of these are in foreign languages, so I'm gonna give you a bonus for comprehend languages of +5.
Cool.
And at the expense of a first level spell slot for this evening, but I can't imagine that'll affect things. Yeah, +5 from that, plus a D4 from guidance, and advantage from spending your inspiration.
Okay.
That looks like a lot to me.
All right. So it's Arcana plus all that other stuff. All right. So I'm gonna roll Arcana
It's at advantage.
with advantage. So I'm rolling it again. That's a nat 20.
That's what we like to see.
All right. Rolling 1d4. So that's a 26.
And we said +5. That's above 30.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That's 31.
That's 31. Well, 30 was my threshold. So, here's the deal.
Yeah.
When you are making your charisma saving throw, pertaining to this thing, normally it would be 1d20 plus your charisma modifier.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be 1d20 plus 1d12 plus your charisma modifier.
Okay.
So you've got an additional 1d12 bonus from the research that's going on, broadly speaking. I can also answer any questions that you might have, but I think that's really the mechanical thing that I want to focus on there as a building element. You get an extra d12. And yeah, you know what? I also want to do one more thing for you, because that's above a 30 and a nat 20 to boot. I think you learn for free any abjuration spell that you want that you could cast.
That's in the bard school or just
No. I mean not of a level above what you could cast.
Oh, okay.
So you can't cast like a level 9 abjuration spell, whatever that is.
Cool.
But anything that you theoretically could cast, you could learn. Also, you don't have to decide what spell it is now. Just to be, yeah,
cool, don't. I started pulling up the list.
Don't feel the need to rush it. And anything that looks like it might help probably will help, is what I'll say. Like, don't worry if like mechanically it's not perfectly like in line with helping. Like, if a spell doesn't say this helps you create a mental prison inside your head or whatever, that's okay. We can still use that spell to symbolize that in some way, shape, or form. So any spell that you can come up with that seems helpful to you, but again, don't worry about it too much. There's a knock on the door, and you come out of your research, and so the door opens, and there is one of the guards there, and he's holding a hanger with like sort of decent servants wear for like fancy events. And he just sort of I was supposed to hand this to you. The party is soon. Mela said to give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor said to give it to you.
I'll get change for her request.
Thank you, Keller. And he nods and starts walking away. And you hear him mutter ere he leaves outside, "It's so weird having someone besides Juno in that room." And then I think you hear the other guard say, "I know, I really missed her morning snacks this week." Yeah. Okay. And we'll have that happen there. And I think we will cut Sawin as Keller going to the party with Mela. Is that okay? We can return to that next time.
Yeah. Him as Keller going to the party is fine.
Okay. So him as Keller going to the party, and we'll see the results of that next time. And back on the ship, let's have a final scene, I think, for the episode with Juno.
Hey. So Juno has had a lot to think about. And she's going to go up to check on the maelstrom one more time. I'm assuming it's probably like evening, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's the night. I think it's close. I think this is the night you're gonna hit the maelstrom probably at this point.
And does it look different as a storm than a regular storm? Like, is there color in the cloud, or?
Yes, there's light, there's color, there's something that looks so bizarre, like a gale force winds that are going the wrong direction and seem to like hammer into the clouds. You swear for a second you see an image of like a dwarf maybe with a hammer, but it's 200 feet tall, smacking at a cloud, and as he does, lightning comes down, but then the lightning shoots back up, and then like things are going every which direction. There's chaos everywhere. You see fields of light. It's like every magic spell that you've ever seen being cast simultaneously, and it's just this terrifying, unnerving, disturbing vision. And you see the folk of our pirate queen's vessel, and they are steeling themselves, nervous, scared, and feeling unprepared, whether they are or not. It's a terrifying image to see.
Is Thomas or Kaz up on there on the deck?
Sure they are.
Okay. She's gonna head over to where they are. Are they together or separate?
Probably
Well,
together.
she'll head over to where they are. And she'll say, it looks pretty scary, doesn't it?
It does.
I know, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I know we all have each other's backs on this,
Exactly.
whatever happens. And I know that, you know, maybe I spent a lot of time depending on Mela and then trying to seek someone else to depend on with Alam, and even going to the tree to old Zaka for assistance. And you know, I don't think actually that there's anything wrong with depending on people to have your back and to support you, even when you have to make steps into an independent life, to know that they're there.
Of course.
Which, you know, I just wanted you all to know that. And to know that is why I'm going to get us through the maelstrom. And she's going to open the book to where she spoke with Strega before and take out her quill. And she's going to write, "All right, we have a deal."
Finally, let us begin. And I think that's where we will end the episode. Okay, Juno, I'm going to be sending you some rules.
Yes.
Actual rules. You have someone who can actually teach you this stuff, so that means that I can send you the rules for this stuff rather than have you finagle your way through it chaotically, and see how things work. Not that I have any objection. You'll have a couple decisions to make. I'll try and send this to you tomorrow or the next day, so you have time to make the decisions. But
Sure.
shouldn't be too hard. In general, you get to pick sort of 2 fields. But yeah, we will see how this all works out. Next episode, a storm and a party. Let's see what happens. I'm excited. And yeah. Thank you all. Oh gosh, let's do experience. Sorry, I just it was such a moment. Sometimes I get caught up in a moment. That's the wrong thing. That's the right. Nope, that's the wrong thing. That's the right thing. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's dive on in. Did you guys learn anything about Magli?
Yes.
What did we learn?
He tried to have General Quick Eyes killed.
That is 100% true. You definitely learned that. I will give you that experience point right there. I gave you that. I handed that one to you in the first moment of the episode. I like it. Cool.
Thank you, Salin.
Yeah, good call. Did you express your character's class, species, or background in a meaningful or impactful way? Anyone want to nominate anyone?
Nominate Juno.
For which of the many wonderful scenes?
Oh my goodness. I guess the last one, because that one was just really, really poignant.
Yeah, I agree. That was awesome, and it was exciting to see. And I just want to pause for a second here and call out Faye. Faye, your will Juno or won't Juno was awesome all episode.
Oh, good.
I was I didn't know what was going to happen, and I was constantly curious. And I sometimes oh, Juno's leaning that way. Oh, Juno's leaning that way. Oh, and I felt like I was I never knew which way you were going to jump, and it was really great to see that sort of inner thing play out in every conversation. Faye, do you want to nominate someone for their class, species, or background impacting the story?
I would say Thomas with the conversation with Oceana. They're little bickering.
Oh, is that what that was?
I felt like that was a lot of his
background did not involve a child who was a pirate queen. That conversation would not have happened. So I strongly agree, and sounds good to me. Thomas, Sarah, do you want to nominate Kaz? Do you want to nominate Kaz?
Yeah, I do actually. Thank you. I feel like the symbolism of the moon tattoo definitely ties in with her background and how Kaz is deciding what ties and what oaths are important to her going forward and what she's leaving behind. And it's really amazing to watch.
I'm excited. I rolled randomly on a thing to give you tattoo stuff. And you know how sometimes you roll randomly because you're I don't know what I should do here, and then you roll randomly and it's well, that was obvious. That's exactly what happened, and I'm excited for you to discover it. But to make it very clear, I rolled randomly, or sorry, you rolled randomly. You rolled a 57, and a 57 literally said moon magic, and I'm well, duh. So, why didn't I think of that? I felt very much had I looked at this list rather than rolled on it, I would have picked 57. So thank you, the dice, for making me not so silly. Excellent.
Welcome, Matthew.
Nia, do you want to nominate someone?
Yeah. That those cards, huh?
Yeah, right?
That was pretty scary, honestly.
What the heck?
But also really amazing.
I'm just a witch.
Yeah.
You are.
I will never
though.
forget. I forget it was definitely not the first reading, but one of the earliest readings. You, Tiss was asking you about their companions, and just one after one, you drew 3 cards, one for each of the companions, and they perfectly lined up with the classes that these people had chosen. And like it was just and then you pick the Kraken, and I'm like, oh, most of the Kraken. Okay, fine. What do you want to read? Fair enough. Beautiful. Okay. Well, that is swell diggity. Did you overcome a meaningful obstacle or impediment to your character today? This can be personal growth or defeating something. Well, I feel like we should start with the obvious ones, which is probably all 4 of you. But Juno, did you overcome an obstacle to your character today?
Yeah, I think so.
What obstacle did you overcome today?
Made a deal with Book.
Yeah, you did. There was growth there. Thomas, did you overcome an obstacle today?
Yes, again, he had an honest conversation with his daughter.
That was not an easy thing to do, and it was an awkward thing to do, but I'm glad you did it, because I had fun role-playing the awkwardness, and appreciated the experience to do that.
Well, maybe for the first time ever, we're seeing things eye to eye.
We'll find out. Kaz, did you overcome something today?
Well, I don't know if it counts because it was resolved by a roll, but learning magic in that way is
Yeah, of course.
definitely, yeah.
This is something you're interested in, and more than that, I think it underscores your connection to your mother, so I am giving you a point for that. Sounds good to me. And Salman, did you overcome something today?
I mean, I guess so, in a way. I guess I've overcome the obstacle of like learning additional stuff from the books that Mela has to help me like next week in game.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think building towards something can be overcoming something, right? You had obstacles preventing you from building. You didn't have access to the books. Now you have access to the books, and more than that, you've utilized the books. So I agree, giving you a point for that. And let's talk about beliefs. Kaz, what did you have for a belief? Did you work towards it? Did you accomplish it?
Yeah, I wanted to work on enhancing my magic circle. Don't know if it's done, but I certainly worked on it.
I agree. I'll give you a point for that. And Samhain, did you work towards your belief?
Yes, I did.
Did you accomplish it?
The belief was basically getting my butt in gear to handle Aleppo.
Do you think you are done, or do you think there's more for you to do?
I have to meet up with Algernon to get like the special thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that yet. So
yeah,
that's still on the to-do list. So there's like more work to be done. Like I have to do it next week.
Sounds good. Works for me. Juno, did you work towards your belief?
Yes, I sought out assistance, particularly with Salmon.
Yep. I'm going to call that a completed belief and give you 2 points. And Thomas?
Definitely work towards it. I feel like maybe yes and maybe no, it was accomplished.
What
because needed to get the team and Oceana and basically form a plan of action for safety and for like what we're going to do when we get there, basically behaviors and things we can get in place. And it's like, on the one hand, yeah, there were some ground rules established and like that was definitely conveyed and stuff was agreed on. On the other hand, he still doesn't think very much of the best plan is no plan philosophy. Clearly the best plan is 17 plans because you expect the first 16 to blow up in your face, and that's just good planning. But I mean,
I feel like what your belief really was I will talk to Oceana and figure out what her plan is and hopefully influence her, and like you succeeded in trying to do that as best you can, and now you need like a new belief that's like, okay, Oceana is an irresponsible child who doesn't make.
No.
I'm just saying something like Oceana doesn't make plans. I will make plans around her so that we can survive the city of Cabria.
I mean, to
I
the
will
extent that
circumvent her
he's chosen to trust her, like he's willing to ride it out.
then another,
But
then a different belief.
also, huh?
Then a different belief, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, to me, it seems like the sort of polite angle that you were working is complete. If you're gonna do something different, that's great, but you're gonna have to figure out a different angle than like politeness.
Yeah.
So I would call it 2 points.
Okay.
That's
I
fair.
can definitely get behind that.
Sounds good. Guys, what level are we technically at?
11.
Oh, we're currently at 11.
Well, I call bull because that is
So
a
do
level.
I.
That is a level up. Y'all are welcome to check out level 12 if you so
Ooh.
desire. Sorry, Thomas.
I'm sorry.
But when
Okay.
you do level all the way up, it's gonna be so awesome.
I better look like frickin' Goku. I tell you what.
Fair by me. Guys, that was a lot of fun. I hope that you guys had some fun. Guys who are watching, thank you so much for checking us out. I appreciate your presence as always. We had a grand time. We hope you had a grand time. As always, check out some of our other content and the best advice that I can possibly offer you. Don't forget to call your cat and feed your mother. Bye, everyone.